Australian government is supporting a PNG team to join the national
rugby league
competition.
I think the leadership shown by the Prime Minister has been extraordinary in this. I don't think you'll see the benefits of this for another 10 years, where his legacy will be shown that this today and the decision to become besties again with Papua New Guinea.
Did we just become best friends?
Yep. We've always been besties.
Welcome to Sportsday. Thursday night, it's a love fest between Papua New Guinea and Australia and PVL, and it's a day that is exciting when any new team is announced. We've seen that over the last, since 2005 when the Gold Coast Titans were announced, and of course when the Dolphins a couple of years ago. And it is an exciting time, yet controversial in this circumstances with the announcement of PNG. It has been talked about all day. I know you've heard everyone's opinions, and you're going to hear ours as well tonight, because we're going to take a little bit of a different view. Instead of slamming this decision, which it looks as though a majority of rugby league fans around Australia are convinced that this won't work, we're going to look at the positives and negatives. And there are some really good positives about a team in Papua New Guinea, whether you agree or not. There's a different angle to look at this. Hey, I've got to say, before we talk about what's coming up on the show, we think there's a conspiracy theory about the PNG announcement, don't we, Daddy Vass?
Yeah.
So hear us out here, listeners. What do you think? I think you'll be all over this. We think the NRL and the Papua New Guinea government, we think they planted Mary Fowler, the superstar Matilda, so close to Nathan Cleary that Nathan and Mary would fall in love, which I have. Well done, congratulations. Have you got a clapping?
Yeah, well, it was around the World Cup, the Women's World Cup.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So we think the NRL and PNG government planted Mary Fowler and they fall in love. She is, of course, of PNG heritage. Okay, so can you give me a tick there? Yep. Nathan and Ivan Cleary come off contract. Was it 2027?
2027, yes.
Okay, can you tick for that? So Jet, his brother, who was at the Warriors. Now, I think by then he might have maybe 50 games, NRL games under his belt.
Bit of experience.
Tick. Yep. Okay. So we're saying 2028, the conspiracy is all going to play out.
Mate.
The Clearys times 3. Ivan, Nathan, Jet.
And Mary.
Mary, well, she'll still be playing
Ambassador.
soccer. So they'll sign with PNG. As part of the deal, it'll no longer be called the Kina, which is their form of currency over there. It'll be called the INJ, I-N-J currency, which is Ivan, Nathan, Jet. And you probably throw Mary in there if you want as well with the lettering. But we think this could be a conspiracy. It's been playing out
start their own
all in front of our eyes. It's been playing out and we haven't seen it until today.
God.
So, hey, there was a poll on news.com.au. 89% of fans think it's a bad move announcing a Papua New Guinean NRL team.
How do you think the NRL will pay them? Because it won't be through dollars. It might be through their new currency, but like...
The INJ currency.
Yeah.
The Ivan, Nathan, Jet.
Yeah.
Yep.
How will... Like, is this a deal that's already been done? Because they've already come... They're coming
paying the Clearys.
Yeah.
Oh. Do you reckon they're already building a pipeline from Penrith
underwater
up to Moresby?
Yeah.
And it's like those old, in the post offices, they used to put the letters, like in the offices, they put them in like a capsule and they just, he goes, it sucks away and just stays in some little hidden cavern.
Up comes a wad of cash.
Yep.
Oh, there's our next payment.
So, yeah, watch this space. I like that angle. Yep. Hey, on the show tonight, former Australian cricketing legend, host of the Brekkie with Pat and Heels, soon to be Cousin Heels is Ian Healy. He's going to join us around the third test, which starts on Saturday, first ball. Sports update, thanks to Activate Me and Karcher. And, the Bish isn't here tonight. I think she's caught my sickness.
Has she?
Yeah.
Oh. No
Well, she was
Bish.
on my microphone last night, wasn't she? And
Yeah,
I've been
she sat
coughing and
there, yeah.
spluttering over that for the last 2 or 3 nights. So I hope I haven't made her sick.
Hope she's gone all right.
Yeah. So Heels is going to join us. That's Ridiculous as well tonight. Have you got any That's Ridiculous, please? So Glenn.
Come on, that's ridiculous.
Yeah, so the ING currency, if you throw Mary in there as well. Yeah, you got it. Yeah.
I reckon this PNG...
Danger says I've lost it.
Well, I reckon this PNG's rocked you a bit. Announcement has rocked you a bit.
Why is that?
Because earlier today, you were saying this.
Yeah, be interested in your shorts and... I was supposed to say your thoughts.
My shorts.
Yeah, be interested in your shorts. And because I was thinking about why you don't wear shorts when you do the show. You
yeah,
just
righto.
walk around in budgie smugglers. It's disgusting. Hey, that's ridiculous. The journos, they're already throwing up marquee signings for PNG already. Someone threw up Munster. Now, Munster, what'll be
Come on, that's ridiculous.
33 going on 34. He's got 3 kids at the moment. He may have 6 by then. I can't see Munster taking up his young family to Port Moresby. Our own social media guru, who we got on the show last week, Sammy, who's new to SEN and Sportsday and the run home and co. He put up his possible team for 2028. Can you have a word to him?
Come on, that's
ridiculous.
ridiculous.
He's coming on the show.
Is he really?
Yeah, he's on.
To talk about the team that he's put up, because it's all the players coming off contract in 2027. He's already put up a potential team. Look, we need to have a chat to that young lad.
He's put Sam Walker at halfback.
Yeah. Hey, Matty Rogers, we got the SEN shootout tomorrow, which is between myself and Rat up against Joel and Fletch, who are flying to the Gold Coast. We're playing at the Glades Golf Course, which is one of the premium golf courses in Queensland.
You had a trot there today?
Had a trot there today, just worked out the different angles. Yeah, it's in mint condition, I've got to say. It always is. But after a bit of rain, it looks awesome. So, yeah, we're doing the SEN shootout tomorrow, and we're going to we'll give you updates through social media. If you're following Sportsday NRL as well, you'll be able to get updates throughout the day. Daddy Vass will be updating the listeners. So that's going to be interesting. But Matty Rogers... The cracks are starting to appear.
Mate, major cracks.
Because you contacted Rat and said, hey, listen, Michelle Bishop's sick.
The Bishop's out.
I know that you're on holidays. Can you come in? Can you come in? He goes, mate, what do you say? Sorry, my daughter's new boyfriend is coming over for dinner. Is that right? Yeah.
Yeah.
So I can't do it. Sorry, can't help the team out. But then about 2 minutes later, Sugar, Joel Kane, he texts me and says, hey, do you want to come out for a beer tonight when we arrive? Because Rat's picking us up from the airport.
Are you serious?
That's ridiculous. Can you give us a that's ridiculous?
Come on, that's ridiculous.
Can't believe that.
I tell you what's ridiculous also. Have you downloaded the new software on Apple?
Yeah, I have, yeah.
So if you've got an Apple and you've downloaded the new software, it transcribes your voice messages.
Yeah.
So you left me a voice message today, and in my voice message section, it said, unable to transcribe voice message.
Not surprised.
That's how slow you talk in messages. It honestly
Did you
said,
listen to it?
we can't transcribe this message because it sounds like someone from Cheech and Chong. That's what it said.
It didn't.
Hey, let's get to a hot topic. Thanks to Apple iSports. We'll get to your text also, 0457 736 736 for our Kiwi listeners, 8833. Fitzy says, you two have been hanging out with Glenn and Gary for too long. Well, Fitzy, we got a bone to pick with you as well, I've got to say.
Oh.
Have you got some audio of that a little bit later? I think the tourist was going to send you some audio about one of our allies, Rats and I allies, Fitzy. Apparently he's crossed enemy lines and has given some inside knowledge about the Glades to Joel and Fletch with the game.
Is there a particular hole?
Yes, Brooksy's just walked into our studio.
Oh, there you go.
First time he's ever been here. So we're going to get that audio for you soon. Hey, the worst kept secret, the hot topic, thanks to Apple iSports. Apple iSports for the fans. It is the worst kept secret. Officially unveiled by the PM Anthony Albanese, who is a mad South Sydney supporter, and PNG Prime Minister James Marape. They delivered the historic announcement at the Commonwealth Parliamentary Offices in Sydney this morning. 2028 entry. As I said, they're not going to say it's the 18th or 19th team because we don't know what's going to happen. But let's look at the negatives and positives surrounding this, okay? And tell me what you think. Because we'll focus on the negatives first, and we'll come home strong with the positives of the game, which we should always be looking at the positives. Is the negatives? Is it a knee-jerk reaction that probably isn't in the best interest of the game as a whole? Now, we have a captured audience in Papua New Guinea, so putting a team there doesn't need to solidify that. We've already got a captured audience, okay? So we didn't need to put a team. So I think that's one of the negatives. A negative is it's top 4 most dangerous countries in the world. In some categories, it's top 2, only behind Venezuela. I think El Salvador's in there as well. 40% of the people, unfortunately, and I wish this was different, live below the extreme poverty line. Now, if you've got rugby league players and their families living behind a compound wall, heavily guarded and the community doesn't have any real tangible access to the players where they feel as though they can reach out and touch them and be part of their life. If there's this perception, and I'll highlight that word perception, that there's total opulence and royalty going on behind the wall, that on the other side of the wall, only 10 metres away, there's poverty. Like I said, 40% of the people live below the extreme poverty line, like I said, which is unfortunate. Wish we could change it. And maybe rugby league does change that in some small capacity. We know what happens when the lower class are shut out and there's a huge divide between the upper class and the lower class. We've seen that in countries before. So I hope that doesn't play it that way. Agents trying to sell it to players, because the agents have a duty of care to the players to ensure they're committing a player to a really safe workplace. Whether that's through playing conditions, training conditions, safety, whatever it may be.
How would you sell it, Sats?
If I've got a young player who's 19, 20, 21, early 20s, doesn't have a young family, I'm saying this is an opportunity where you're going to earn probably a little bit more money than you're going to from any other club on the open market. They're probably going to pay overs for players. Possible tax exemptions as well is another plus for a young player. I think it's an easier sell to a young player. I spoke to 3 former NRL players today, and I
sounded them out.
Played out these scenarios to them. If you're a young player, you're in your early 20s, you don't have any kids, tax exemptions going to be paid a little bit more on the open market than what you would at another club in the NRL. Would you go? They said, absolutely, 100%.
Really?
Yeah. If you're living in a compound, everything controlled, going to training, possibly.
Current players?
Not current players, ex-players. The same 3 ex-players, when I painted the scenario of you're 26, 27, 28, you may have 1, 2, 3 kids, young family, kids are about to go to school or kindergarten, whatever it may be, you're getting paid, what you're worth on the open market, could be tax exemptions as well. Would you go? All 3 said absolutely not.
So put a line through Munster.
Yeah, Munster, at 34 to be turning that year. But in saying that, selling it to a young family, I think the way you would sell it as an agent or a general manager of football or a recruiter from the PNG side, what if they call the PNG Hunters like they are with their Host Plus Cup? Makes sense. I'd be saying maybe if your family's not happy about living in a compound-like environment, maybe base your family in Cairns or Townsville, and any spare time you get off, you're going and seeing your family. It's a little bit like a FIFO worker. So maybe that could play out for a young family. So, I mean, you put yourself in this situation, Daddy. How would you feel?
Oh, mate, I'd be pretty nervous, I'd think, just for the first 3 months, maybe settling in, knowing your surroundings, knowing that over the other side of that wall, like you're describing earlier in the show, is extreme poverty. How are those people going to react to when they see you walking out there in their countries? So,
well, a lot of them, you're not allowed to leave. Like, you wouldn't be able to leave and just walk around the community.
It's probably that, that freedom of being able to, drive down to the beach when you want and go for a swim, like that kind of stuff.
You get a bit of cabin fever. It's a little bit like COVID, but probably on a greater scale, I've got to say.
Yeah, definitely.
What are the positives? So let's finish on the positives. National support. You're going to have this frenzy of fan base that are just going to be frothing over your rugby league team. I mean, you'll be kings. Motivation and opportunity for male and female athletes to stay home and not have to leave Papua New Guinea and try and chase their dream. It'll shorten the gap between making it and not making it, because they'll be getting coached at an earlier age to be at that elite level. Education around the game. And what I mean by that is building more referees and officials, coaching the coaches, making coaches better a lot sooner. Job opportunities for the club, for the locals, like either at the club, the stadium, the building of the compound as well. There's going to be a lot of job opportunities for locals. Business opportunities for locals around the team as well, like starting your own business that incorporates the new rugby league team.
Well,
could be merchandise, whatever it may be.
They're going to need a fair few things over there, aren't they?
The get-out clause. Now, this is probably the kicker, I think, when we read about the get-out clause. There's always something PVL brings to the table that's I think has a little bit of shock and awe. Now the get out clauses apparently words to the effect that if PNG are seen to be entering any sort of business opportunities, whether it's through importing, exporting, anything to do with China, that the funding can be pulled and so can the license.
Wow.
So the get out clause, I suppose, is something the NRL have as a bit of a safety. Bit of a safety.
I don't think China are going to come to the table and
$600 million from the Australian government to China is, I mean, they could drop $2 billion on someone tomorrow.
Yeah, but China don't have an NRL team, so
yeah, I know, but it's not about that. I tell you what, but you can't watch rugby league on KO in PNG.
really,
No, so you can only watch it in Australia. So, do you think the NRL will create a live streaming service through their NRL website? And you have to subscribe to it.
oh, is this going to be similar to what they want to do in the US?
So
with
financially,
an
this could
NRL
be
app.
Well, financially, this could be a coup for the NRL. As you would say, financially, this would be a coup for NRL.
A coup.
But this could be a coup for the NRL financially if they create a streaming service where you have to subscribe through the NRL website. So,
What, you're saying I need to add another subscription to my already 10 subscriptions?
exactly. Don't know how much it will cost you. Maybe $3 or $4 a week, month, whatever it may be. Hey, Sats, I've been against the PNG deal the whole time, but listening to the show tonight, Big J says, can Australia make PNG great again? Potentially. And the compound would be like living in the Truman Show. 989 says. It would be. You know what? It would make great viewing, much like Big Brother. It'd be 24-hour live stream. I was listening to Joel and Fletch yesterday, actually, and they were talking about some of the things that can go wrong. What if you've got partners that don't like each other? What if you've got a mad porker that, as a player, that goes up and he's just creates havoc? I don't know. Like, it's got a recipe for disaster, but I've got to say, it's great viewing.
Should we do that for our top 8 next week?
What players?
We shan't be doing that.
Hey, Sats and Daddy, why don't all the families live in Darwin and they play in PNG? Bunyip.
Don't mind that.
We're kindred spirits. I've been saying that for probably the last 2 months. If they were going to base everyone and they didn't want to do it in PNG, Darwin, which can be the wild, wild west on a Friday night, I've got to say, I've got a mate of mine, shout out to Scotty out there, who was a former detective in Darwin. He said it's a mad place on a Friday night. Might be safer in PNG than Darwin on a Friday night. Hey, let's get to, what are we going to talk about, Daddy? We're going to talk about a lot of things. Yeah, we're going to get to your text message. We've got some calls as well. Have you got that audio yet where Fitzy's crossed the line?
I don't,
Has
mate.
Tourist sent it yet?
No.
Okay, we get Brooksy to get onto Touri and get him to send it through. Because our SEN shootout tomorrow at the Glades Golf Course between myself and Rat, Joel and Fletch as well. We've got a couple of callers. Who are we going to go to first? We've got 1300 01 1170. Our Suncorp open line is lighting up. FP is on the line. How are you, FP?
I'm good, Sats. How are you, mate?
Going good, legend. Love your input each and every night. What do you got for us?
Mate, how are you going to play golf tomorrow?
In what way?
You've obviously been on the pipe. The Clearys are not going anywhere, mate.
Well,
the Clearys are not going anywhere.
Well, we think there's a conspiracy. We think Mary Fowler she's been parachuted into the Cleary environment. They've fallen in love. It could be every chance, FP.
No, but you might be onto something, but not PNG. What about the Western Australian bid?
No, I don't.
Isn't Mary from Western?
In all seriousness,
Isn't Mary from Western Australia?
Yeah, in all seriousness, FP, I don't think the Clearys are going anywhere. I think Nathan will.
No,
I think he'll play his whole career at Penrith.
FP, why are they both off contract
I
in the same year? Can you tell me that?
just so they can sign another big one.
Exactly.
Yeah, with PNG.
FP, don't buy into Daddy Vass's rot. Okay.
PNG.
What's that?
Leo Thompson.
Yeah, Leo Thompson. Yeah,
Yeah.
there's-
Ezra Mam.
there's going to-
Ezra Mam.
there's-
And
Yep.
Ryan Pappenhausen.
Ryan Pappenhausen. He signed 1 year officially, didn't he? Officially
Yeah,
signed off
yeah.
as of yesterday with the Melbourne Storm, Hillstorm Hillary, and Stormy
Yep.
Daniel will be happy. So,
Leo Thompson will sign for 2 years, which
Yep.
will take him right up to the end of 2027.
yeah,
Then PNG, he'll be right in his prime then too.
he will be as well. Sign a check.
Yep.
Absolutely. Hey, thanks, FP. Enjoy your involvement each and every night when you text through the show. Who we got, Daddy Vass?
The rabbit.
The Rabbit. The Rabbit is on the line, the Suncorp Open line. How are you, Rabbit?
Boys, the most dangerous reality show ever they should start filming, PNG Compound Rugby League. Can you imagine those players, the fear that they have on the field, especially with like 5 minutes to go, and they're leading, and then the opposition team gets a penalty awarded, and they lose the game. They lose the game, the first game, the rioting that will happen. They'll have to bring water cannon, riot cars, and then they're living in fear in their compound. It'll be the most fascinating show ever. The league's going to make more money from that than the crowds going at PNG.
Hey, Rabbit, remember that 91 game in Papua New Guinea when the tear gas and they all had to put wet towels in their eyes in the test match against PNG. Also, surrounding the TV show, that's another revenue finder right there.
Boys, there's no doubt that it's the most fraught with danger thing that NRL has ever done. Like, they don't realise, they haven't travelled there enough to realise that it'd be fantastic for the country, but policing it is on a whole different level because those people live and breathe the league. They live and breathe it. And what's their emblem going to be? The PNG what?
Don't know. Well,
gatekeeper. Let's come up with one.
It might end up being the Host Plus Cup team in the Queensland Cup. It might be the PNG Hunters. It's got a nice ring to it. They've won a comp already.
Well, that's a bit close to the bone, isn't it? The Hunters. Imagine when you lose the Hunters.
Well, I tell you
Boys, I'm worried. Are you worried? Naturally, are you worried?
Oh,
Are you worried?
Am I worried? Am I worried? I am initially right now, but I think we just got to get our head around it because you know what? They've named it, and we've got to find something positive about it, whether we agree with it or not.
Everyone poo-hooed the Dolphins until the first game, didn't they?
Yeah, exactly. So, did they get that right? Well, history says that they did get it right. Whoever got that 17th licence would have been the right, whether it was the Firehawks, the Jets, or the Dolphins.
If it is successful, how long does it take, Sats? And who do you think needs to be put in place? In terms of coaches, support staff?
Oh, I don't know. I don't know. There might be some directions around. There's got to be X amount of locals in roles up there as well, operational roles, game day roles, whatever it may be. So we don't know what that looks like.
Do you think Bellamy would have a shot?
No.
No?
No, I don't think he would. No, I think he would miss his grandkids too much. He'd love to spend more time with his grandkids on the Gold Coast. And I know his son Aaron's got kids as well now in Melbourne, so no, I don't think so. Wayne Bennett will be 136 by then. Hey, I'll tell you what. What about the referee?
Hello?
What about the referee that gives a controversial penalty with 30 seconds to go to win the game for the opposing side?
The refs are going to have to wear body armour.
I played a game up there 10 years ago, played a charity match, and we weren't allowed to run onto the field. The bus drove us onto the field. That's how we ran onto the field. We got off the bus and started the game.
Are you serious? Do you think there'll be no touchies?
No touch.
Or any official? There'll be no officials by 2028.
Because by then they would have trained a lot of the local officials to I think be at NRL level.
Okay.
Yeah. So there's some of the positives that'll come out of it as well. Plenty of texts